this slide, I want you to either copy or print out so that you carry it somewhere convenient. So this is chronological dynasties of China. So our class will go in the order. So Shang Dynasty is the beginning of a Bronze Age. And then Zhou Dynasty and Shang both are very important ancient dynasties. And during Shang and Zhou, you can see the fundamental styles, fundamental designs of clothes are already established. Because the political system or the organization of governments are also repetition from Shang and Zhou dynasty. So close to. And then there was some period of confusion, spring and autumn period and warring states. And then people move into the Iron Age now. Then we have a Qin and Han dynasty. So these are equivalent to the Roman Empire in Western civilization. So you are going to see a little bit more sophistication from Zhou and Shang dynasty. And have you ever watched the movie called Mulan? Do you know that there was a movie animation version of Mulan, Disney? And then you have the real people movie, right? This summer, Mulan. So that is about the story of Han Dynasty. And you can imagine what kind of clothes the Mulan has. But the origins of Han Dynasty clothes, you can find it from the Shang Dynasty. And then there is again a period of some confusion. And then Sui and Tang were the Chinese dynasties. And Tang Dynasty is very exotic. And I would say it's global in a way. In their own lifestyle, it was exotic and global. So Tang Dynasty is the only time when you are going to see visibly different designs. But other periods, there are not drastic changes. So the basic composition is all continuation from whatever you saw in Shang and Zhou Dynasty continues. And then again, brief period of confusion and Song Dynasty. They are even more conservative, so they didn't approve the Tang style exoticism. So they really wanted to go back to Han Dynasty style. You will see. And then here, the Yuan Dynasty was a Mongolian rulers. So you are going to see that during the Yuan Dynasty, that's when there was a drastic change of clothes. Rulers, especially from Mongolia, they wanted their ministers to dress like themselves. So you are going to see that nomadic clothes worn by officials, and they felt very humiliated, Chinese officers. And then Ming Dynasty is restoring actually the Song or even Han Dynasty. So it's back to it. So whenever you watch historical dramas of Korea and China, if the period is before 1644, what you are seeing is Ming Dynasty's official robe continuously shown into the 19th century. Especially in Korean historical drama, like somebody mentioned, Kingdom, or that what did I say, Royal Tailor, or popular historical dramas, they all show some sorts of variations, especially for the royal family from the Ming Dynasty. Because Ming gave ceremonial robes to Joseon, the dynasty in Korea. So that's Ming Dynasty. But in Chinese case, do you know the man with the long braided hair called queue, falling off, and then also the hairline, goes all the way back because they shaved it, to the middle of the forehead. That is a Qing Dynasty style. Unfortunately, China's last historical dynasty, the rulers were Manchus from Manchuria in the northern part. So that's what you are seeing it in this Qing Dynasty. Or, do you know, what did I want to say? Hong Kong movies, a lot of these are actually from Qing Dynasty. And the popular clothes that you think it's Chinese women's national dress, like qipao, it has nothing to do with the 5,000 years of history from Han Dynasty all the way to here. There was no mention of Qipao. Qipao is relatively new, originating from that Qing Dynasty. So, so a lot of modern fashion style in China is actually coming from the Manchu ethnic style. So China is an unusual case. They had to follow those Mongol dress or Manchu dress, or Tang Dynasty. They also learned nomadic lifestyle, like a nomadic fashion style. So we will talk about those in a large chronological way. So you have to remember the dynastic names. And the reason I wrote as pink are authentic Han ethnic dynasties in a ruling family. Han ethnic group. So Han ethnic group usually lived along the Yellow River. And then, so this is the agricultural map of China. So you see this, what is it, the red land. So these are dry land, kind of. And then the yellow land is really dry. But then the green area here, so these are fertile land in China. So in these fertile land, they usually have 4 seasons. Obviously, the northern part, the climates and temperatures are a lot colder than the ones along the the Yangtze River area here, but they are equally fertile land. From here, you can imagine the hemp, the materials for linens, hemp, or rainy type of other plants, and then what else? Mulberry trees for the silk will grow, but the Yangtze River here, Yangtze Basin, these are extremely fertile. So they are mainland for food, agricultural production. But when we say agriculture, that also implies clothing materials as well. So it's really interesting that food and clothing are going together. And what we are experiencing right now is polyester fabric is not something to eat, right? What is polyester made of? Oil, right? It's actually from the oil. The same material for car. So in a way, what's interesting is the car, right? Or the plastic, and then our clothing are the same categories, right? Something industrially manufactured. So, like the slow fiber movement is in a way going back to this era when we say agriculture, like food and clothing are in the same category, not that car and ships and trains and clothing are the same category. You see what I'm saying? So synthetic fabrics will come in the 19th century, much after the Industrial Revolution. But we want to restore that pre-modern world where food and clothing and then sustainable materials were all we had. And then currently you have a different provinces, and as some of our Chinese students can attest, what is it, like a fashion street, like a #1 fashion street in China would be somewhere around Shanghai and Hangzhou. These days I heard that Shenzhen, like here Guangdong is also very popular, like a fashion area, or Beijing, right? But this is a Tianjin and Beijing, like these are also the popular fashion area. And then these days, Chinese people also go for vacation in Yunnan or Hainan. So sort of if you think about the resort wear, right? Like the way we go to Caribbean or Hawaii, those warm weather areas. It's like currently it's Hainan or Yunnan, but the real fashionistas, let's say from Tang Dynasty and so forth, they are usually from the Shanghai. Later on, from the Beijing, and then where's Xi'an? Yeah, so Xi'an was ancient capitals. Ancient clothes are excavated, usually excavated around the Xi'an area, because the land are dry, and these silk fabrics didn't what did you say, didn't perish. They were reserved. Or we are going to see a lot of those examples from Changsha. I want you to remember this town, Changsha. This is also a dry land. So we are going to see a set of garments and fabrics from Changsha area as well. So in terms of social class, of course, we are going to study a lot of imperial robes. Why? Because a lot of them were pictorially represented in portraiture painting or ceremonial paintings, and also many of them, especially later from the Qing dynasty on, they are preserved in museums. So this is a famous dragon robe, but this is more active wear. So active wear, you can see the signs of this pleated skirt area. It's a jacket, like a robe, but if you have that pleated area at the bottom, it gives you more action. The traditional one is just one line. There is no pleated part. But this is a Qing dynasty clothes. And then, but before Qing, like a traditional Han ethnic group's clothes are something like this that you see in the 11th century portraiture. And this is a Song dynasty. And the woman seated here is empress. So it's a woman's wedding or high feast ceremonial dress. So it's not regular dress, daily group dress. So it's a ceremonial clothes. And then you have courtiers, right? Like two attendees on the side by side. But these type of clothes were different from the Qing dynasty or Manchu dresses. So this is the imperial ceremonial robe with the headgear.